Hey peeps, we are back. We are talking Love After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 4. Hey, before we get into the video, please do me the honors of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content, hitting the thumbs up because that does wonders for my channel, and share. Thanks. Rick and Radine. Listen, this picks up right where it left off. They are still at her parents' house for Thanksgiving dinner. Rick's friend Ramona shows up. She has judged herself up a little bit. She has colored her hair purple and blue and something else, I don't know. But the good news is she showed up with the green bean casserole. Radine said that's her favorite. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of green bean casserole. Anyway, this is not about me. Anyway, the odd thing for me was they pretty much set a place at the table for Kay. Yes, Radine's prison bae, Kay. They propped her cell phone up at the table and Kay sat there talking to them and watching them eat Thanksgiving dinner. That is odd. Rick still doesn't understand what's going on. He says that he's starting to feel like he shouldn't even be at this dinner. I have to agree, Rick. You and Ramona should have took y'all's green bean casserole and went on home. Ramona was quite shocked. She actually came right out and asked Radine. She said, "Who is Kay?" And she told her that Kay was her girlfriend. Ramona says, "Well, I guess that's between you and Rick to figure out." However, she does believe that it's unfair to Rick because Rick was definitely under the impression that they were going to be monogamous. I personally think that Radine is using Rick. Rick says that he wonders if this is just some sort of trick and that she's just been leading him on for the last 5 years so that he could give her $10,000. And Ramona pulled the oops, I gotta go. She had to eat and run. She thought that relationship was odd. The dinner was odd. They end up going back to Rick's house to have the sex, and I thought it was really nasty. I don't know if it's the age difference or if it's the fact that both of them need some dental work. I don't know, but I was very uncomfortable. It was too much, and I need the WeTV people to stop doing that. We don't want to see Rick and Radine in the bed and hugging and kissing. I don't even want to see any hand holding. I've had it. Oh gosh. Listen, Radine said the sex was good, but she loves Kay more than she loves Rick. She also says that while she was having the sex with Rick, she was thinking about Kay. I don't know, honey. I think Rick needs to move on with his life. Drop Radine back off at the halfway house and change your phone number and block her. Get rid of this. This is a bad situation. That's $10,000 that you could have used to fix your teeth and, get some Zoom bleaching. This is not all right how she's treated you, Rick. Rick, unfortunately, buddy, I think that you have just bankrolled Radine and Kay's relationship. As a matter of fact, Rick, you're the side dude in the relationship. Get out of it. Run, Rick. Indy and Harry. So, Indy is back at the house. It's the next day after she has dropped Harry off over at John's house. We saw him over there taking the Remy to the head. Well, I guess, allegedly, he spent the night at John's house. And I said, didn't we just see on the last episode that his PO officer told him he was going to have to get an ankle monitor because he was supposed to stay at his sister's house every night? Indy says that she has been calling and texting and asking where he is, when he's coming back, if he's okay, and he's not responding to any of her messages. She brought up her spiritual marriage and how she feels insecure right now because of him cheating on her. If I was Indy, I would have been gone by the time he showed up. He pretty much tells her that she's treating him like a child, and that's because you're acting like a child. He also asked her why was she still in the relationship. He says that she hasn't forgiven him. He hasn't offered her an apology, and he pretty much cheated on her when he was at the halfway house. So why is she still here? He also says that pretty much you want him to marry you and give you this life that he just is not ready to do. He just got out of jail, and that's all facts. It's all true. And he tells her that he really does love her and knows that she does deserve time and he'd like to give that to her. I don't know. If he doesn't respect your spiritual marriage, what makes you think he would respect your real marriage? Oh, I think that Indy truly loves Harry with all of her heart. And I know that she wants to be with him. She wants to be happy. But to me, Harry is still a child in a grown man's body. And he's not ready to be a provider for a wife and a child. Indy really should go home to her mom. Oh, I would like for Harry to realize that he is giving so much information in his confessionals and in his conversations about all the things that he is doing, drinking, smoking, being out past his curfew. Don't you think your PO is probably going to be watching? I mean, I would think that he's going to be watching. I think when he was asking her about why is she still there, that was his way of saying, girl, you should not be with me. I am not ready for this. We should break up, without saying it. You know, then later in the episode, his family comes over to have a redo of dinner. You know, he finally got his mofongo. And they are pretty much talking down about Indy. But I think that instead of them stating the obvious about Indy and her and Harry's relationship, they should probably focus on Harry and his issues and what he's bringing to the relationship, and stop being so much focused on Indy. You know, I appreciate him having the conversation with his mother. You know, she thought the conversation was going to start out with her talking about Indy, but he was very clear with his mom. His mom says that Indy is rushing things. She's moving too fast. She's got her daughter calling you Poppy Daddy. And Harry was very clear. He said that woman's intention is pure. She really does love me. She does want the best for me. I appreciate that he stood up for Indy in that moment. He explains to his mom that they all grew up without a father, and they had her husband, which was his stepfather, and that his stepfather was extremely abusive. He is still angry that his mom was spending so much time at work. She wasn't realizing that her children were suffering at home. He expressed to her how much he loves her and how she is absolutely forgiven and that he would never not love her. My thing is that Harry has bigger issues than his relationship with Indy. And I think that this was a conversation that was needed, and it's a conversation that should have happened a long time ago. And I think that not only does Harry need therapy, I think his mom needs therapy as well. As we were watching the episode, we see the segment with Harry and his mom, and then we see Chance with Taylor's kids, and it just hit me even harder than it already has been. This is another reason you cannot bring random men, random women around your children. You know, we always hear about the stepdad who beat the kids, who molested the kids, who killed the kids, but there are some stepmoms who do the same. We have got to be careful who we bring around our children. You know, I just think that at this moment, Harry is still suffering from childhood trauma, and he doesn't have the tools that he needs to fix what's broken. He has got to go to therapy. He's never going to be the man that he truly can be or the man that he truly wants to be until he's able to heal from the hurt. We also see at the very end that Harry is driving Indy's car. At the same time, while he's driving her car, he's saying that he needs an eye exam because he's been around so much mace when he was in prison, and she's trying to get him to go to a psychic. Well, he is not here for the psychic visits, and he tries to explain to her in the nicest way possible that he thinks it's all a game and that it's all just to rip them off, and that she probably should stop, giving so much power to these psychics. Well, he gets pulled over. The police officer says that he's pulled over for driving under the speed limit and going over the yellow line. In other words, this dude is just trying to harass. But anyway, luckily, Harry was calm and rational. He tells the police officer that he was driving because Indy was tired. They ran his license and Indy's license. He ends up with a $174 speeding ticket. Both of them still don't have jobs. Speed to a job. That's what I want you to do. I have no idea why this girl let him drive her car. Indy, you have your daughter in the back seat. He just told you he needs an eye exam. Why is he driving your car? Anyway, it was funny because the police officer put him down as white when he filled out the ticket, and Harry thought that that was so wrong. Look, buddy, just be happy that you didn't get arrested. Kayla and Martell. So at the beginning, we see Kayla going out for brunch with Martell's mom, and it turns out that they have a really good relationship. They have worked together the last 13 years to take care of Martell while he was in jail, and now they're working together to take care of him while he's in the halfway house. Did you hear that? I said take care of him. Okay, he's not taking care of anybody else. They are taking care of him. We also find out that Kayla has recently lost both of her parents from illness. Her father passed away from cancer, and then she nursed her mom until she died. And I'm not sure if her mom died of cancer or not. And so my heart goes out to her. Here she is, a young lady in this world without both of her parents. And I am so sorry for her loss. Martell ends up getting a 48-hour furlough from the halfway house, and she goes to pick him up to bring him back to her new apartment in Atlanta. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment, and she's really excited to show him her place. Well, we find out that the night before she was making, I guess, powdered mashed potatoes on the stove, and she spilled some of the powdered mashed potatoes on the side of the stove. When he gets in, she's showing him the kitchen, and he says, "When's the last time you used the stove?" She says, "Yesterday." And he said, "Well, don't you think you should have wiped it up before you went to bed?" And I thought, really? Dude, you haven't paid one bill here. You don't even live here. You haven't even gotten the full tour of the house, and you were already complaining, buddy. I can put you back in the car and drop you off at your mama's house or back to the halfway house. Don't play me. Anyway, she continues on, even though she's quite shocked. She shows him the laundry area, and he says, "It looks like you need to do a load of laundry, don't you?" Now, instantly, because I know a man, okay? Instantly, I say to myself, this dude is not upset about the stove. He is not upset about one load of laundry. This is all a game. He wants to go out to see somebody else, so he's going to treat you like dirt so that you will get pissed off, and he can use that as an excuse to creep out and see somebody else. Now, earlier in the day when she was having the brunch with his mom, she asked his mom, did she think she was going to have to deal with anything regarding him being faithful? His mother said to her, "No, I think you'll be fine. He says he loves you." But to the camera guy, his mom said, "I think he's going to get out and start hanging around some of his old friends, and, there could be a problem." There is absolutely a problem. There is absolutely a problem. What I do appreciate is Kayla is nobody's joke, okay? She told him up front, she said, "Don't play with me. And don't play with me because we are on TV." She said, "Because I will pop you." And he said, "Well, what'll happen after that?" She said, "We'll just be two people fighting. You are not about to play me. You are not about to shade me and act like I'm some nasty woman," because there was a little bit of mashed potato powder on the side of the daggone stove. And then she let him know, she said, "This is my place. This is not your place. And if you are so concerned about the stove, why didn't you grab some soap suds and clean it off?" And he talking about how clean he is. Buddy, bye. You are not that neat and clean. It didn't stop you from laying your outside clothes, have it ass on that woman's bed. I'm just saying. He's full of crap. I'm thankful that she stood up for herself, and I'm also thankful that she did it without crying and begging him to stay. This dude calls his friend and takes off. Bye. Now, the problem I have is I'm pretty sure she's going to end up taking him back. That is a mistake. Listen, Kayla, finish out your lease or buy your lease out if you can afford it and take yourself back home to your family. As you've said multiple times, you are down here in Atlanta with no family. Go be with your family. You do not need this dude. And it's clear that there are some concerns anyway, because she mentioned that she hasn't told her brothers anything about Martell. You have given 13 years of your life to take care of this loser, and now he gets out of jail without a pot to piss in nor a window to throw it out, and he's going to try to tell you that he's setting the tone about cleanliness in your house? Girl, bye. Boy, bye. To hell with this dude. Martell, let me get you to your mama's house. No. Go over there and tell your mama how to clean her house. Taylor and Chance. So we start off with Chance being a complete jackass. He is upset with Taylor because she doesn't want to eat pizza. Well, why'd we order it then? I bet you 9 times out of 10 you didn't pay for it, buddy. Okay? She can order pizza for her and her kids if she wants to. You didn't pay for it, I'm sure. He was telling her that I want to eat pizza with my girlfriend. And he's cussing and carrying on in front of her daughters. This is a no-go. And she makes the comment that she is not accustomed to having arguments in front of her daughters, and especially not arguments where you start to curse. And I'm team her. I'm team her, and her little girl said maybe she's not hungry. Personally, I am not going to be in any relationship where you think that you can disrespect me, period. But you are absolutely not going to disrespect me in front of my children. Her sister Bobby has been hiding out in her room. This dude has been home from jail for 3 days. Bobby is staying in her room to avoid being around him. Bobby lives there. She has been helping her twin for all of this time. Personally, I think that Taylor is too gullible. She is doing way too much and he is just not worth it. Then he's going to share with her this sheet of paper that he has with all these girls' phone numbers, talking about he's got 30-some cousins. I don't think so. When she voices her concern about him having all these women's phone numbers, he makes some kind of comment that he had options. He could have chose any woman, professional women with no children, but instead he chose Taylor, who has 3 kids and a lot of bills. No, you chose the one who was gullible enough to accept you and allow you to come stay in her nice home with her 3 little girls and her sister. That's what you chose. Those other women who probably don't even exist, those women were too smart to put up with your stupid shit. Oh my gosh, this man pisses me off. So because she didn't want him having all these girls' phone numbers and things like this, he brings up the fact that she still has photos of her children's father who passed away in the house and tries to guilt trip this girl, talking about, why do you have his photos still here? Maybe you're not over him. And are you serious? Are you serious? There is no time limit on grief. There is no time limit on grief. This man was trying to gaslight this woman, and I really need Taylor to pay attention. Pay attention, honey. He is laying the foundation to take control of your entire life, including the lives of your little girls. He seems to be unstable emotionally. No, ma'am, not around my kid. Then he makes some comment to her when they were talking about all those girls' numbers that he had, that if she didn't like it, she can get the F out the room. What room did you pay for, buddy? You mean if she doesn't like it, you can go? Yeah, go on and go. Somebody who would get that worked up over eating pizza together is somebody who is absolutely unstable. And then it was some point where they were talking about her ex who passed away, and he says, well, I'm just here to pick up the pieces where he left off because God works in mysterious ways. Excuse me? What? Boy, you better go on. Taylor, you and your sister better get up the strength to get rid of him. I think that you and your sister need to devise a plan to contact his PO officer and your local police department and have him escorted the hell out of your house, and to get a restraining order, because something is not quite right with him. He is mentally unstable and a little aggressive for my taste. He wouldn't be around my child. Kevin, Tiffany, and Curtis. Now I'm anticipating on the next episode, it'll be Kevin, Tiffany, Curtis, and Kayla. Okay, because I'm telling you, Kevin is definitely going to go pick Kayla up. Anyway, Kevin is ready to go down and pick Tiffany up from the halfway house. He wants to see what's going on because she has changed up on him over these last couple of weeks. However, Curtis is also on his way to pick Tiffany up because she asked him to pick her up. Curtis has decided to bring her a waffle, a big Texas-shaped waffle that he ends up putting his elbow in, and then he says she's going to have to like it like this as he tries to lick the syrup off his arm. I said, oh God, you are gross. And who wants you to bring them a big gigantic waffle that's not wrapped up? It's going to be cold. You've covered it in this stupid syrup. It's going to be mushy. I mean, I'm thinking too much about this. Anyway, moving on. Honey, now listen. Kevin sees Curtis and he says that he knows him around town and he wants to know what is he doing there trying to pick up his girl. Well, clearly he's there to pick up who he thinks is his girl. Now, when Tiffany comes out of the halfway house, she walks past Kevin and she says, hey, walks past him as if she does not even know him. I personally think that he's getting a little taste of his own medicine and I find it very entertaining. However, Kevin is pissed. Tiffany then goes into this lie to the production team, telling them that the only reason why she asked Curtis to pick her up is because they're friends and she just needed some time to get her mind right. You know, she didn't want the stress of a relationship. But when she got in the truck with Curtis, the first thing she did was kiss him. And I said, girl, no, because Curtis is already under the impression that you're going to be a couple. She also mentions that Kevin is some sort of player. But what I really didn't like is Kevin started calling her all kinds of bitches and hoes. And I said, wait a minute. We saw you with Lindsay on a date. Kayla has informed us that you invite her over every Sunday for the sex and Netflix. And Tiffany is the hoe. But then I started to think, Tiffany did tell us that she had a girlfriend in prison and she's been talking to Kevin and Curtis. I'm not saying she a hoe, but I mean, she's active. Anyway, the funny thing for me was Curtis is going to walk up on Kevin and call Kevin a loser and then tell Kevin he was short. I said, I wonder if he realized that him and Kevin look like twins. Both of y'all are quite small, you know, two tiny Tims. But Kevin wasn't here for it and he knocked the hell out of Curtis. Curtis falls to the ground and the fake security guard is lubing over Curtis when the episode ends. I said, oh, wow, that looked painful. You know what I mean? So I'm assuming that the ride home with Curtis is going to be a quiet ride because he's going to be in too much pain to talk. I can't wait to see what happens on the next episode. I think that these people are ridiculous. Get down in the comments and let me know what you think. And until next time, bye.